Hello everyone, we are ready for science. I want you to tear out this study guide page, what's not study guide, but this activity manual page that says moving air at the top. This is page 177 and we are going to use this to follow along with me as we look on page 268 through 271 of your science book. So again, like I've said before, I want you to pause. I want you to look at all of the different things you're going to need to answer. And then as you listen to me and we go through this section together, you can fill in what you need to fill in for the answers, okay? We're going to be looking at more parts of the respiratory system today. And we're going to be looking at the upper part, okay? So what is going along with those lungs and diaphragm that we learned about the other day. We talked about what breathing is and how it happens and why it happens. Now we're going to talk about the more of how exactly that occurs, okay? And how God has made us to allow that to work well. Now let's look on page 268 and you're going to see a very good diagram that looks like the diagram you just saw here on this page. So this is what you're going to use to answer this part here. Okay, so as I read, maybe you can get some of those filled in. Most of the air you breathe comes in through your nose. Your nose has two openings that are separated by a wall of cartilage and bone. These openings are called nostrils. Air enters through your nostrils and passes into your nasal cavity. The nasal cavity is a large air space located behind your nostrils. The open spaces from the front of the nose to the beginning of the throat are called the nasal passages. So, nostrils, nasal cavity, nasal, even deeper nasal passages. Your nose is good for much more than breathing. When you inhale, taking in air, the air that passes through your nose is warmed, moistened, and even filtered. Special cells in your nose and your lungs produce mucus, a sticky substance that captures bacteria, dust, and other particles in the air. Tiny hair-like structures called cilia line your nasal passages as well as most of the respiratory system. The cilia within your nose move in waves to transport the mucus into the body. Scientists are imitating this movement that God designed in their artificial cilia. The cilia sweep the trapped particles towards your throat and you swallow them. There, the acid in your stomach destroys the particles. Sometimes, though, the particles do not reach your stomach. Instead, they may irritate the lining of your nose or throat and cause you to sneeze or cough. Right, it's getting irritated. Air can also enter your body through your mouth. However, your mouth cannot protect your respiratory system as the cilia in your nose can. For this reason, it is best to breathe through your nose. At times, though, you may have to breathe through your mouth. When you have a cold, for instance, your nasal passage may become blocked. In this case, the only way to get air in through your mouth, is through your mouth. You also tend to breathe through your mouth when you do strenuous exercise. So remember, when we're doing more voluntary breathing, it's in through our mouth more. And then fantastic facts. Take some time to read the fantastic facts part, okay? Now, let's go on to the next part, your throat. So that was the nose and leading to, and through the nose and the passages and leading to your throat. The air moves from your nose or mouth into your throat or pharynx. At the end of your pharynx are two separate tubes, each with a different purpose. One tube is your trachea or windpipe. It leads to your lungs. The other tube leads to your stomach and is called your esophagus or food pipe. When you swallow your food, a flap of tissue called the epiglottis closes automatically over your trachea. By the way, that was a question the other night on Jeopardy, and I got it right. The epiglottis keeps food from going down the trachea to your lungs. When you are breathing, the epiglottis stays open. This allows the air to enter your lungs instead of going to your stomach. Talking or laughing with food in your mouth may cause your epiglottis to work improperly. Okay, because remember, when you're breathing, it's opening, and then that's how people choke. It may stay open because you are talking, though it needs to close so you can swallow your food. Instead of the food going down your esophagus, the food may accidentally go down your trachea and cause you to choke. Choking occurs when an object, such as a piece of food, goes down the wrong pipe, so to speak, because you've got two. So you want the food to go down the one and not the other. Your larynx. At the top of your trachea is your larynx or voice box. So, pharynx was another word for throat. Larynx is your voice box, which sits above your trachea. It is made up of 9 pieces of cartilage and many small muscles. 2 bands of elastic tissue stretch across the inside of the larynx. These soft bands are called your vocal cords. The vocal cords form a V with a small gap between them. When you are not talking, your vocal cords are relaxed. The gap stays open so that you can breathe. When you start to talk, sing, or scream, your vocal cords tighten and narrow, leaving only a small opening. Speech happens when air is exhaled. As you exhale, the air moves upward from your lungs and goes into your trachea. The air pushes through the closed vocal cords and makes them vibrate. This creates sound waves. Your throat, mouth, nose, sinus cavities, teeth, tongue, lips, jaws, and cheeks then work together to shape the sound into understandable speech. The pitch of the sound depends on the thickness and length of the vocal cords. Long, thick vocal cords vibrate slowly and produce a deep sound. Short, thin vocal cords vibrate faster and produce a higher pitched sound. Men have thicker vocal cords than women do. This is why men's voices are usually deeper than women's voices. Okay, so that's why our voices all sound the same, because our vocal cords are different according to who you are. It's all different. Okay, so now it says, try it yourself. Your larynx changes the pitch of your voice by changing the thickness and the length of the vocal cords. You can model this with a balloon. Inflate a balloon and let the air escape. While the air is escaping, stretch the mouth of the balloon. Many of you have probably done this, and it makes that real high pitch when you're squeezing the balloon. This will change the length and thickness of the opening. Try this several times. Predict whether the sound will be higher or lower as the size of the opening changes. So if you have a balloon, I would encourage you to do this. So just blow up the balloon and then mess with the opening a little bit, making it wider or thicker or thinner, okay? And then listen to how the pitch changes as you change the balloon, okay? All right, now below, I want you to pick, let's see. I hope that you are answering your questions on page 177. According to your number, give me the answer. Okay, so give me the answer to the question. Now, I know that we have a couple that don't have a number. So here for Caleb, I want you to do number 13. Okay, so Caleb is going to do number 13. Ava, you're going to do number 2. And Maddox, depending on who answers first. So let's see, if I want you to do number 3. If you answer first, then put the answer to number 3. If Leah answers first, you're going to comment and say whether you think it's correct. Same thing for Leah. So Leah, if Maddox beats you to answering number 3, then you're either going to agree or disagree. Okay, and I want Riley to do the same thing with Randy for number 10. So Riley, you're going to answer number 10. If Randy beats you to it, either agree with her or disagree with her. Randy, you do the same. If Riley beats you to it, either agree or disagree. Okay, everyone else do your own number. Okay, have a wonderful day.